Welcome to the Wellness as a Way of Life podcast, your one-stop, all-encompassing source of wellness, knowledge, wisdom, inspiration, and motivation. Here we teach you why not all wellness trends are for you, how to figure out which ones are, how to best adapt them for your personal wellness toolbox, and how ultimately to integrate your wellness practices so fully that they become to feel like brushing your teeth. A foundational part of who you are and not a check mark on your to-do list. Welcome back to Wellness as a Way of Life. I'm back here on my rooftop. It's not even morning. It's basically the middle of the night, but it's quiet. I'm looking at something that looks like a planet, extremely bright on the horizon. I'm going to check with my little sky search app after I record this podcast, which is going to be all about my love for healthy soups. This is the time of year that instead of incorporating a side salad, I highly recommend you incorporate a side soup in your lunch routine, dinner routine, whatever makes more sense for you. And here's my suggestion and my inspiration on how to do it. So after living in Mexico, 14 years now, for many, many, many years, I had help in the kitchen with a lovely woman, and she basically taught me how to make soup. I thought that making a broth or making a soup was long and complicated, and sure, you can make an incredibly delicious soup that's got a lot of time and energy and effort that goes into it, but that's not what I'm talking about. Here, I'd like to encourage you to get really comfortable with the kinds of soups that get made here in Mexico for the daily lunch. And so instead of it being multi-steps, it's just a couple steps. Essentially, you boil a bunch of vegetables in some water, but just enough water to make the soup. So let's say you're making, it doesn't matter how many people you're making for it, actually, because the beautiful thing that I want you to use is the ability to eat it over a few days. So I would suggest as your base, if you're a party of one, well, then it's 1 liter of water. But if you're a family of 4, it's 2 liters of water, and then 2 for 1 liter or 4 cups of vegetables. Here are some ideas. I will also link my 33 healthy soups ebook in the show notes here for you, but the idea is don't overcomplicate it. So you can't just do it of one vegetable, like you just do carrots and then maybe you spice it up with curry, a dollop of coconut milk on top, some fresh cilantro. If you like it spicy, you add chili peppers, always salt, pepper, and always a tablespoon for 2 liters and half a tablespoon for 1 liter of a good bouillon. So even if you're just using, old school Knorr's chicken bouillon or whatever it is that you have in your house, it's not the healthiest thing in the world because it's a lot of sodium and other things in it, but for the exchange that you're going to be eating all of these vegetables way more often, just use it. Over time, consider investing, going to a health food store and finding a plant-based, a vegan vegetable bouillon that's low in MSG, low in coloring, or zero colorings, zero fillers, basically. It's just spices. And yeah, I can help you find one if you want to contact me, and I'll figure out where you are in the world and what's your best option. Of course, Amazon has some good choices as well. So the point is, you have your base is water, the vegetables, spices, and then a scoop of your bouillon of choice. And you are going to boil it minimum 20 minutes. It kind of depends which vegetables you're choosing. If you're using carrots or, sweet potato or potatoes, something that takes a little bit longer to cook, you might be looking at 30, maximum 40 minutes cook time. But usually if you chop things up quite well, you can get away with 20 minutes on high, boiling the vegetables with the spices and the bouillon. And then you're just going to throw it into the blender and make it into a lovely puree. Done, served, amazing. So there are steps to make it much more gourmet, of course. How exactly you chop up the vegetables, peel things entirely or not. You can strain the soup so it doesn't have any chunks or fibers that are, not as nice to eat in your soup. But I find really that's not that necessary, especially if you're peeling everything correctly. Just blending, if you have a Vitamix or a Ninja, blending on high, you get an incredible soup. And it's a starter or a side, right? So, of course you can make it into your main meal as well. But the idea is just to think, to warm yourself up in the winter. You want to have a side soup at dinner, at lunch, maybe both. And like I said, I'll give you a list of recipes to inspire you, but some of my favorites that I've learned here over the years, besides, a curry coconut carrot, would be a potato. We're just going to call this potato leek, but basically potatoes, 2 potatoes, some chopped up leek, 1 tomato, and 1 carrot. So the tomatoes and the carrot kind of give it a sweeter flavor. It's such a lovely, lovely combination. I just like potato leek on its own as well. You can do a carrot red pepper. It's a lovely combination. Just tomato by itself. There you can think of making it more basil, garlic. Maybe you want to sprinkle some high quality grated cheese on top. Maybe you want a dollop of sour cream or yogurt to sort of cool off if you're making a spicy one. Really think of, what can you garnish it as well that's really easy, but adding a punch in terms of fresh herbs. And just have a lot of fun with it. So I hope that inspires you to not overthink making soup on a Sunday and eating it over the week, just to add an immunity boost, a heartwarming spicy punch to your plant-forward eating. Much love. Hey there, one last thing I wanted to share with you. If you're enjoying this podcast, it would mean so much to me if you could rate and review it on your favorite podcast platform. It really does help us grow the show, and this being so important to me to get this message out to more women to help them optimize their wellness and ultimately their lives. This is my mission, and I would greatly appreciate it if you could support the podcast by rating and reviewing. Thanks in advance. Have a good one.